This is the Marketing Minute with Eric Rhoads, author of the #1 Amazon bestseller, Make More Money Selling Your Art, Proven Techniques to Turn Your Passion into Profit.
You can send your questions to me, eric@artmarketing.com. And by the way, that's a great resource. Artmarketing.com has lots of great articles for free. Okay, so the first question comes from Nancy Tyler in Dallas, Texas. I love going out to paint plein air and sell my work as a means to finance my trips and supplies. Many sales come through Instagram and Facebook from people that I've made connection with through my travels at outdoor events and finding me painting in their neighborhood. My question is, how do I continue to engage these wonderful collectors on social media while discouraging the many offers from those wanting to offer me ridiculous sums for my work as NFTs, ETHs, cryptocurrency, blah, 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 blah. And it has become exhausting explaining that I don't deal in digital file sales and crypto and deleting their posts. Well, Nancy, it's funny because it comes on the heels of my colleague, Allie, sent me a note that I had been, somebody had hacked my account and was pretending to be me and telling people that they had won prizes. And if they clicked on this link, they would collect their prizes. And then, of course, it was some other kind of a scam. And I said, that's the price of popularity. I mean, that's the price of success, I suppose. And that is that you can't avoid that stuff. If you're on social media and you're getting some followers and people see that, you're eventually going to get hacked and you're going to just have to deal with that stuff. As far as NFTs go, the whole NFT thing is kind of, from my perspective, kind of over. Maybe it's not, but there's a lot of artists are hearing from people saying, "Oh, I want to do NFTs of your work," and then they end up getting scammed. Or I don't think there's very many people out there legitimately reaching out to artists and saying, "I want to do NFTs of your work." But quite frankly, I mean, you can do NFTs, generate them with AI now, and come up with some pretty cool things. And who needs to do that? So, the people who spent millions or hundreds of $1 million on NFTs, most of them are burned pretty badly now. Most of them are, it's not recovered. That could change. I don't want to be a Luddite and say never, never say never. But right now, that kind of stuff is happening. And the whole idea of crypto, I love crypto. I think it's really cool. But it's real easy to get scammed through people. There are legitimate places to go. If you want to do NFTs, do NFT marketplaces. If you want to do crypto, do it yourself, do crypto marketplaces, but study it. Be careful who you take advice from. I personally have been scammed, and I don't want that to happen to you. But I do want to bring something up that you said. I just want to, you said you love to go out painting and plein air and use it as a means of financing your trips and supplies. I think that's wonderful, but you can go further than that if you want. And I think it's nice that you look at it and say, okay, this is a way to finance my trips and supplies, but maybe you can do more with it. You can make more of a living with it. That depends on you and what you want to do. But you also mentioned something else, and that is, let's see here. Let's edit that out. So I want to touch on a couple of other things you said. You're plein air painting and you're selling via Facebook and Instagram from people you made a connection with when you were out plein air painting at events or otherwise. It's worth pointing out because the sales that you're getting from Facebook and Instagram may have more to do with the fact that you were out there. They saw your work in person. They met you in person. You connected with them. They followed you. That may have more to do with it than just putting yourself out there on social media and hoping that somebody's going to spend money. It happens. It's happened to me. It doesn't happen a lot. It happens to some of my friends frequently, some of them not frequently. I think it depends on how good you are at working social media. But There's a lot of phony buyers out there too. Every single week, not a week goes by where I don't get, hey, I love your artwork. And usually it's coming from social media. I love your artwork and I'd like to, we've got a special anniversary coming up. It's my wife's birthday or something. And then they say they want to buy your painting. And then they cut a deal to buy your paintings and they send you a check and you send them the painting. And then they overpay you on the check. And then they say, well, just Venmo me the difference. I must have misunderstood. Then you Venmo the money, they've got your painting, and then the check doesn't clear. And this is a big scam. This is going on, every week. Every week you get it. So it's kind of like the Nigerian prince, same kind of a thing. So be careful out there. But there are fundamentals in marketing that, no matter what the hot thing of the moment is, these fundamentals really matter. Um, we're attracted to shiny objects. We assume because we have a few thousand followers, or maybe even more than that, that everybody sees every post. And the reality is it's not true. 2% to 3% of your followers ever see your posts, ever. And only if you can increase your engagement levels do they start seeing them more. If Facebook or Instagram, same company, see you increasing the engagement levels, how many people comment, how many things you comment back, that type of things, how many people share, then those engagement levels drive up. And then you might go from 3% to 4%. And, if there are lots of things, lots of comments, lots of engagement, they might go to 5%. Sometimes they go higher, but usually we get a mistaken belief that we have a lot of followers and those people see everything we do. That's just not true. Um, it, yeah, there are people who have millions of followers. They have great results because a small percentage of their people see every post. Or if they're super, super popular and it's good for the platform, then Instagram or Facebook will push them out more. But when you have big numbers, you get small percentages. It still makes a big difference. When you have small numbers and you get small percentages, people not seeing things. So be careful about that. Social media changes every 3 months. They're always updating the algorithms. Things always are changing. And most of us don't have time to keep up on that. So, there are experts out there that help you, but there are also experts out there that are willing to scam you. So just be really careful about that. You can sell on social media. People do it. But don't put it into things you can't control. Put it into things you can control. There are things that are tried and true that have tribes of followers that are very specific to, like tribes of people who buy paintings, like the pages of my art magazines, the people there buy paintings, so you kind of know that the likelihood of selling a painting is going to increase by being there. Whereas, you're being random, just because you have a lot of followers doesn't mean they're people who buy paintings. They might be other artists. They might be, who knows, there are a lot of people who follow for no reason. So they might like your artwork, but they're never going to buy anything. Just keep that in mind. Okay, the next question comes from Sally Dixon in Maine. I'm an impressionist plein air artist with 30 years experience. I have an art show coming up in November. How do I price my framed oil paintings? I have a website to back up my work. I've been in the Portland Art Gallery in Maine. I really want homes for these oceanscapes and landscapes and floral paintings. It's a local art show at our library, so I want to price them reasonably. Well, I'm not sure what the question is. But let's just talk about a couple of things. First off, congrats on getting into an art show. That's a big deal. Thank you for pointing that out. You said, how do I price my framed paintings? Does that mean that you also were going to put paintings in the show that are not framed? I want to talk about frames. First off, the only things I believe, there are no rules, but the only thing I believe that you should be selling are framed paintings, or if you have something unframed, and that might be matted prints. A lot of people sell matted prints at art shows and things like that. And you should be able to make a 600% markup. That's the average on a matted print. The cost of printing unframed you can make some good money on that and have a low price point. You might have $7 in it and sell it for $50 or something like that. So um, I want you to think of frames as a way to increase your profitability and a way to increase the status of a painting, which increases your profitability. A friend of mine recently told me he spent $7,000 to frame a painting. Why would he not just put a $40 frame on it? Well, because he's a high level artist. He's selling at a high level show. He's selling to people who have big money and big homes and they want the best. And so you put a good frame on it, it matters. I have a friend that owns a gallery. He had a painting in the gallery. It's a $2,000 painting. He had a frame on it. Didn't sell for a year, so he decided to send it back to the artist. And then he thought, no, I'll try a new frame. So he spent $4,000 on a single frame, put it back in the gallery, said, well, if I'm going to have a $4,000 frame, I need to raise the price. But he thought, well, it's a beautiful frame. It looks completely different now. So instead of selling for $2,000, he put a $14,000 price tag on it, $10,000 for the painting, $4,000 to get paid back for the frame. Sold first week. Frames make a difference. I think that anything unframed devalues your work. If you have unframed paintings and you're selling them cheap, you have framed paintings and you're selling them for more money, it's going to devalue your paintings. So even if you're saying these are my studies, these are not my best work, don't do that. So don't stack them up and put them in a pile. Don't set a bunch of stuff on the ground. Just treat them like they are paintings that deserve to be purchased. If they're going to be in the show, put your best work out there and put, if you have to stack with more paintings, then frame them up and hang them up when you need to replace the others that are sold that have red dots on them. You also mentioned you want to price your work reasonably. What does that mean? What is reasonable? Is reasonable what's reasonable to you? Or is reasonable what's reasonable to Bill Gates or Elon Musk? Is it, a lot of people say, well, I want to price my work so that the average Joe who's like me can afford it. But what about getting properly compensated for your time and your education and the amount of time you've spent learning painting? What about what if this idea of pricing your paintings reasonably is more about your insecurity that you can't get a good price than it is about getting a good price? What if it's about something completely different? I hear this a lot. People say, I want to reasonably price so just anybody can afford my work. But then, then they're saying, well, I would like to be able to go to the plein air convention or something. I can't afford it. Well, price your work higher so you can afford it. And this is the big problem. Most artists I know underprice their work. Most artists I know could double and or triple their work price and get it, and probably not have any more price resistance. But most of them are like, well, I don't know. I think I could only afford this, so I want to make it affordable for everybody. Yet somebody could walk into your gallery and spend $40,000 on a painting, or 140,000, or 400,000. So just keep that psychology in mind, that you might want to be thinking about why is it that you want to price things the way you are. Does somebody who's going to a local library have no money? Yes, but there's also people who go to a local library, who live in a $10 million house. So keep it in mind. Just try to think through, what does being reasonable mean? Now, I want to meet my market. I want to give good value, but I also know that there are people who want things that are the best. There's 10% of all people who want the best. And so, you might want to have something that those people want. And price signals value. It's documented, it's tested. If you walk into an art gallery and there's a $150,000 painting next to an equally good painting that's $10,000, the $150,000 painting is the better painting, and someone will buy that before they'll buy the $10,000 painting. Could be an almost identical painting, but there's something wrong with it because this one's 10, that one is 150,000. So just keep that in mind. All right, anyway, that is the Art Marketing Minute. Remember, pricing is emotional, so keep that in mind.
This has been the Marketing Minute with Eric Rhoads. You can learn more at artmarketing.com.